The Sun, like all stars, formed when gravity pulled together a cloud of interstellar gas and dust. The rotating ball collapsed to a thin disk with the protosun at the center about 4.5 billion years ago. In the disk, solid material started to collect into larger and larger particles. The particles accumulated into clumps a few kilometers across, known as planetesimals. Far from the Sun, where it was coldest, icy planetesimals survived. In the warmer region nearer the Sun, they are made only of rock and metal. At first, there were planetesimals very closely packed, but over time, some collided gently enough to coalesce into larger objects. Others collided so fast that they were broken up again. In what is now the outer solar system, 4 very large masses formed. These became the giant planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They grew disks of their own, out of which moons condensed. With about 10 times the Earth's mass, the gravitational pull of each of these giants was great enough to attract and hold onto a thick atmosphere of gas from the surrounding nebula. In the inner solar system, there were too many collisions for large planets to form, but eventually the 4 terrestrial planets emerged: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Their surfaces were heated by constant bombardment, and inside, radioactivity also generated heat. The metal in the molten planets sank to the middle, while the lighter rock rose to the surface. Then they cooled off and solidified. The Moon was probably created in a catastrophic collision between the newly formed Earth and another planet about the size of Mars. The surface of the Moon and all the other rocky moons and planets were cratered by heavy bombardment for about 1 million years. Eventually, most planetesimals had been destroyed in collisions, ejected to the remote outer solar system, or had settled into the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. A few were captured as the moons of planets. Icy planetesimals from the outer solar system become comets if they reach the warm vicinity of the Sun. Rings round the giant planets are probably the result of stray planetesimals and comets being torn apart by gravity when they get too close. Venus, Earth, and Mars acquired their atmospheres at a later stage, perhaps from the gases blown out of volcanoes. On Earth, the oxygen essential to animals was produced by plants breaking down carbon dioxide. Today, large rocks crashing down from space are far less common than in the early solar system. But only 65 million years ago, a 15-kilometer object striking the Earth almost certainly led to the mass extinction of many species at that time, including the dinosaurs.